start. My name is Debra Crosby. I am a serial entrepreneur. I've started several businesses. Conquest Actors Studio, where I trained actors to break into the industry. I have a lot of success stories with that. Conquest Creative Media is a full-service video production company, and the new company I'm launching this year is Present to Prosper. And it's a play on words, because in order to present, you must be present. And when you are present, it's a gift. And I'm so grateful I walked my talk, because I did have that little embarrassing moment, but I stayed present inside myself in the embarrassing moment, and I stayed present with you. And it was okay, right? So I'm so psyched that I do what I say. With Present to Prosper, I help entrepreneurs master their story, captivate their audience, inspire action, and attract more clients. If you're speaking, and I don't care if it's in a one-on-one networking or in a larger capacity on stage, TED Talks, or in video, and you're not inspiring some kind of action, you need some help. And that's why I'm here today, to help you. So I'm really excited and I'm really honored to be here. And you're not going to learn how to do an elevator pitch the way you think you're going to do an elevator pitch. We're flipping it on its head. And so today, actually, the truth of the matter is, you're going to learn how to practice unconditional friendliness. And from that platform of practicing unconditional friendliness is where you will present your elevator pitch. Now there's two ways you present your elevator pitch. I'm taking this off because it was jiggling. There's two ways you present your elevator pitch. One is to a larger group, and so you need to say something large. And then those one-on-one situations, that's where practicing unconditional friendliness is essential. So this is a very participatory workshop, so my invitation to you, and it is an invitation, is that you lean into the exercises 100%. Because if you participate 100%, you get 100% back. So I promise to be in a safe, supportive, and fun environment. I will not embarrass anyone, but does everyone agree to do their best to participate 100%? Raise your hand. Woo! Yes! All right, okay. I saw some hands not raised up back, so I'm assuming you're going to be 80%, and 80% is Zen, and Zen means perfection. So even if you're 80%, you didn't raise your hand, it's cool. We're all I'm going in the wrong direction. Goal. So the goal of today is that you'll have fresh ideas on how to give your elevator pitch. And I have seen newbies in business try to give their elevator pitch, and they tend to say too much because they're so passionate and they're so excited, and they go on and on and on, and the person listening is really intellectually going, when can I talk? All right, so we're going to help you sort of compress that. When you are good at elevator pitch, you're going to be much better at networking. Tracy was with me on the MBTA yesterday, and what did you observe?
I observed you practicing your talk.
100%.
Every time I turned around, Debra was engaging somebody and thanking them for their kindness, and she's just an amazing person to be around. It's really infectious.
I didn't pay you to say that either. Thank you.
I'm here on my own free will.
So from that platform of practicing unconditional friendliness, it's much easier to network. When I saw each person coming in the room, I'm like, yeah, a new friend. And I come into every event, I walk into every door, I could be meeting new friends. So I'm not trying to sell you anything or push anything at you or manipulate you. I genuinely come from a place as if you are already my friend. I will look at you and give you eye contact as if you are already my friend, and I will try to help you. Even if it doesn't mean that I'm going to get business from you, because it may mean that I'm pointing you in the right direction. I'm a super connector. I know plumbers, and I know everybody. Well, almost. But in this area, I'm pretty well connected. So my intention is to be friendly and to be helpful. And when you have that place where you're communicating from a place of friendliness, you have definitely more confidence expressing your message, your brand to your client. It's more personalized. So we're going to move on. So the first, we're going to go right into exercises immediately. So this is a trade secret from the acting industry. When an actor comes into an audition, they use what's called the point of power. Because a casting director is making decisions whether they're going to cast you or not right at the doorframe. So they need to be in their power and be present in their power before they walk in the room, because a decision's made, am I going to cast you in that Hollywood film as you walk in the door, not when you're delivering your monologue. So this is something I use, and I'm grateful I was practicing it, because when I had that embarrassing moment, I gracefully tumbled through it, opposed to being clumsy and awkward, because I was using my point of power. So my invitation to you now is just to take a moment and just use your eyes and look around the room. There's all these other friends here right now that you're going to get to know. And now just take a moment and listen to the sounds inside this space. Welcome. Notice if you can notice the sounds outside of the space. And see if you can notice the sound inside your internal space. Can you feel your heart beating? Now I want you to, because some of you have coffee, some of you may have had coffee, some of you may have had juice, and I want to use your sense of taste and recall what's the most recent thing you tasted. Was it an egg sandwich? Was it yogurt? Was it coffee? Was it tea? And now in your body, notice the sensation of sitting in your chair. Your back against the backrest, your feet on the floor. And now notice the scent or the aroma of this space. This space smells different than your home or your kitchen or an emergency room, right? It has, see if you can capture, what does this scent? And by using all of your senses, you trick the brain into being grounded in the present moment. Eckhart Tolle talks about this a lot, and I'm sure you're familiar with him as a speaker, an inspirational speaker, and an author. And there's power in being present. And I will. So when you use the point of power, before you come into a networking or public speaking event, using your point of power, it will increase your intellect. Do you ever notice when you're nervous, it's hard to think and organize your thoughts? You will have a sense of intuition. You'll be more imaginative. You'll have emotion and energy. And I will also add your instinct to act on the moment. So all of that is at your access in the moment when you use point of power. Does anyone have any idea how that might be helpful in a networking? These benefits, having access to them at their full capacity, what are the benefits of having this when you are networking? Anyone have any ideas? Yes, your name is, please?
Wendy Joseph.
Wendy, please stand up.
I'm theorizing that if you're grounded like that, you'll be able to respond better to who's actually in front of you.
Yes.
And to be able to put what you're saying reflected with your answers.
Yes.
Get them engaged into a conversation.
Yes. Thank you. And it's so true, because it's about being authentic and being real and being somewhat vulnerable, right? And it's in that authentic connection that people trust us. And when people trust us, they're more likely either A, to hire us, or B, recommend somebody they know who would hire us, right? So point of power is very powerful, and actors use it all the time. Yes?
My name's Kelly.
Hi, Kelly. Please stand up.
Another thing that I noticed,
Yes.
if you have that point of power, is that it makes you more approachable.
Yes.
So, you know, people are more often to come up to you and say hello or respond to you versus being standoffish.
Yay! Well, that's wonderful, because yesterday I was at a conference and I forgot that I practice this so much that it becomes a lifestyle for me, and there were like swarms of people around me. And I was like, wow, that's so cool. And this one woman grabbed my arm as I was walking, because I had to get back, and she grabbed me and she goes, no, you can't leave me. I want to work with you, and I want you on my radio show. Yes, that's how powerful the point of power is. Someone else have an observation? Yes, please stand up. You have a question? Yes.
It's more of a question. Believe it or not.
Believe it or not.
I'm inherently shy.
Good.
And it's really difficult. I'm in sales, and I'm also a politician. But I'm really inclusive, and I'm very uncomfortable speaking in front of crowds. Hello. Good morning. So how do you force yourself? I mean, I'm forcing myself now, and I'm feeling like I need to sit down. But what other techniques, or are there techniques?
There are.
Because it seems like you probably have it just comes natural for you to be really out there and vocal and personable, but I have to try to manufacture it. So I'm interested in what you say.
What is your name?
Mike.
Mike. Thank you. First of all, Mike, you're very charming, you're very endearing, and I love your energy. So what's between you and public speaking is the thoughts you're having. We'll go into that a little bit. You're thinking you can't, and so vis-a-vis, you have an experience that you can't. The truth of the matter, I just watched you, and you can. Using the point of power is definitely very, very helpful. And the first step, we're actually going to go step by step by step, how to conquer those fears. I'm going to give you tools and techniques, Mike, and everyone here, that by the end of the day, I promise you're going to have at least one tool that you can use immediately, but you'll have several tools that you can use always to help you speak in public and have more confidence. And the truth of the matter, my mother is in the audience. Hi, Mom, thank you for coming.
I was going to say confidence, but
yeah. And my Auntie Susie. And I have to acknowledge my auntie, because I have this little bit of a silly side that people find charming, I guess. And I like to try to always be professional, but it ekes out all the time. And I have to thank my Aunt Susie for giving me that silliness. I won't ask you to demonstrate yourself. So the truth of the matter is, Mike, is as a child, I was painfully shy and introverted. So shy that in 5th grade, Sister Joseph sent a letter home to my mother, thinking there was something wrong with me because I never spoke. And my mother said, are you kidding? She tells stories and acts and performs at home all the time and dresses up the neighbors and puts on productions. So my 5th grade teacher forced me to go to the library, pick out 5 kindergarten books, and then from that point forward, on Thursdays for a half hour, I had to read out loud to the kindergarten students. And it was that just practice makes perfect. And the more experience you have, the more confidence you'll have. So innately, I'm a shy person. And I have had to work at seeming like an extrovert. Okay, we talked about this, benefits of point of power, improve social skills, creativity, problem-solving skills, and releases stress. So we already talked about that. So now we're going to go into, so you've practiced your point of power, so I'm going to invite you to practice your point of power again, but this time you don't need to look around the room. Just for wherever you are, use your peripheral vision and get a sense of the room. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you smell? I smell coffee. What do you taste? And physically, how do you feel? And now my invitation to you, if you're comfortable, I invite you to close your eyes. If you're not comfortable, gaze down on the beautiful gray floor. And you're going to follow my instructions, and that's breathing. Most people, when they're networking, they forget to breathe. They breathe at what I call the shallow end of the pool in terms of their lung capacity. And so this is what happens. We don't have enough oxygen. The factory workers in the head start to go, ah! Right? Literally, there are chemicals being sent off in your brain when your brain thinks you're dying. So breathing lets you know you're alive. So we're going to learn how to breathe before we do anything else. So my invitation to you is close your eyes or gaze down at the gray floor. And on the inhale, the next inhale, I'm going to put some music on. The next inhale, I would like for you to, in your mind, silently to yourself say, relax. This is mind over matter. This is the mind commanding the body to relax. If you're noticing your mind wandering, bring your focus back to the phrase relax on the inhale, and on an extended exhale, say, I am relaxed. Here's the thing. With the inhale, it's a nice, slow, extended inhale. See how long you can inhale and see how much you can fill up the lungs. And on the exhale, nice, slow, extended exhale. See how long you can exhale. And on the exhale, you're saying, I am relaxed. And see how long you can extend the exhale. We'll inhale, nice. And on the inhale, my invitation to you is to say, relax. On the exhale, say, I am relaxed. And now with the next inhale, see if you can drop in a little bit more. And with the exhale, see if you can drop into a little bit more. And I couldn't find my song fast enough, so I just invite you to open your eyes and just make a mental note from where was your energy when you came in and where's your energy now? Do you notice that you feel more present? Just two techniques, point of power and breathing. When you are breathing and you're in your point of power, you can communicate with confidence. Didn't take a lot of time. Breathing releases tension, relaxes your mind, releases problems that you might be mulling over in your head, what you have to do before and after, and improves your energy, elevates your mood. The third key is smiling. And when I come into a room, I try to make sure I remember to smile. So we're going to practice what's called, in the acting world, the smile that hurts. All right? You know, the beauty pageant, ladies, they're like this. So I want you to actually take a gaze down on the floor, and on the count of 3, you're going to look up and smile at me. But I want you to make sure that your cheeks are hurting and you're showing your teeth. You're going to feel really weird, and you're going to think, oh my gosh, my smile is way too big, and I look weird. But the truth of the matter is it will radiate confidence and friendliness. So gaze down on the floor. Pay attention to your cheek muscles. You want to tighten those up. Nice smile, and your teeth are showing. And on the count of 3, I want you to look up at me. 1, 2, 3, and smile. Yay! Good job. All right, so that feels weird and awkward, right? You can't go around Starbucks going, hi, everybody. Right? Then call the police. Exactly. So what we want to do is, well, speaking of Starbucks, I do really try to walk my talk wherever I go. I was waiting in line at Starbucks, and there's a woman in front of me, and she had this beautiful baby, had massive cheeks, and I just said, oh, what a beautiful Buddha baby. And I'm smiling at the baby, and the woman says, oh, where are you from? And I said, here. She said, no, where are you from? I said, Salem. She said, no, where are you originally from? And I'm thinking, my mother? And she said, no, you couldn't possibly be from here. And I said, no, I am from here. I was born here. She says, you are way too friendly for a New Englander. Because we don't really like to smile, right? And so it feels weird and artificial when we use these muscles in our face because they're not used to being used. I cannot tell you how many interactions I've had at a Starbucks or whatever where there's been an exchange of a business card and either that person's been interested in working with me or they point me to someone who is interested in working with me. Yes?
Is it true that a male smile may be more threatening than a female smile?
Well, we're going to teach you how to do a warm, friendly smile. That's the next thing. Because you want to have that. Yes. So please introduce yourself.
I'm Bill Rosenberg.
Bill, and we're going to point to something in a second. So if you can get your little chart, your little.
Yeah, and I'll share something with you
Yes.
in regards to that as well.
You're going to share something with me as well? Do you want to share now?
Sure. Why
Okay.
not? I feel very awkward when I go to a networking group.
Yes. Who else feels awkward when they go to networking group? I'm raising my hand. I feel awkward. Yes, I do. I do not have a magic pill to make that go away, but I do have tools to help minimize that awkwardness and actually maximize your confidence.
So
Yes.
I use my imagination.
You use your imagination.
You know those sandwich type of things where you...
Yes.
Well, I hang this in the back, so I do have some people. So that's how I get sometimes interaction. No, why don't I pass it around?
So it basically says there's like a medieval, tent, and there's a medieval army, and he says, I can't be bothered to see any crazy salesmen. We got a battle to fight, right? And what I liked about this is that I don't think anyone wants to meet with a crazy salesman. No one likes to be sold or manipulated. No one likes that feeling. So we're going to come from a feeling, and emotions and positive energy are usually huge attraction factors. Thank you, Bill. So now we're going to include, these are the benefits of smiling. When you smile, knee-jerk reaction, this is a test. The rest of the day, just go around smiling and know what's going to happen most of the time. Knee-jerk reaction, people will smile back. When you smile at people, it tells them unconsciously we're in the same tribe. We're not enemies, we're friends. It just does that unconsciously. It releases endorphins, you seem more successful when you smile, and it helps you stay positive. So now the fourth key to answer Bill's question, how do you smile as a guy and not seem creepy? Yeah, right?
That's what we...
That's a paraphrase. So that's a good question. And when you are smiling from an internal space of positive energy and positive motion, that sincerity will shine through. And I'm going to teach you how to do that next. So you're going to gaze down on the floor again. And now you're going to make the big smile that hurts with your teeth. Your cheeks are hurting. But now I want you to use the power of your imagination. And in your imagination, bring either your favorite person or your favorite animal or your favorite trip you've been on that genuinely brought a great big smile to your heart. Now I think about my dog, John. Or my grandmother, Evelyn Early. I think about those two, and they just get me into my heart space opposed to my head space. Everyone knows what I'm talking about, right? I don't need to explain. And from that heart space, that energy comes across, and you do seem and appear, and you will feel genuinely friendly to the people you're talking to. So gaze down, think about who that person is, really try to visualize, use all your senses and the power of your imagination. What do they look like? See their eyes, the color of their eyes, the hair, the clothes they wear. Do they have a certain scent or aroma or perfume that they wear? Do you have a certain, do you drink coffee with them or have a certain meal associated with them? How do you physically feel? If they're your favorite person, you probably feel really good. And now when you look up with that smile that hurts, I want that to be magnified in a really powerful, positive way with a smile from the heart. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, nice. Big difference, big difference. So that was the combination that makes it really sweet and sincere and authentic.
Can you
Yes.
smile without your mouth being open?
Not me. Some people can, but I can't. But yeah, smile, but showing teeth is the thing that ramps it up into that friendliness place.
For me, that feels quite
I
artificial.
know, because you're from New England.
Why not?
Oh, okay. Or you've been in New England long enough. So, okay, right? So you're not, but now when I'm making you laugh, that smile you have is very endearing and very charming, and I actually feel I feel very trusting when you smile that way. So practice that smile, and you'll get miles. Smiles get miles, and money. Yes, yes.
Just a comment on this. I have spent a lot of years on the phone, doing a lot of phone work.
Yes.
And particularly when you're in the grind, if you can smile, it is amazing how effective that is. It gets translated right through.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah, thank you for sharing. What is your name?
Linda?
Linda,
Okay.
and what is your company?
LLH Connect.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, good. Thank you. So now we're going to, you're going to find a buddy. So whoever is closest to you, I want you to get with a buddy. You have 3 seconds to find a buddy. My preference is that you work with somebody who I do not know. Come back, listen to my instructions. I want you to breathe, but first and foremost, use your point of power. And you have this person in front of you, and so you're looking at them, gazing upon them, but you're using your peripheral vision to know what's around you. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you smell? What do you taste? And physically, how do you feel? Now breathe. Nice deep inhale. Nice deep exhale. This is your new friend. How would you gaze and how would you be present if you're really with a real friend who really is a friend? How would you behave? There's a little sort of unconscious, I want everyone to hear what I'm about to say. There's an unconscious block that we tend to have when we're with strangers. And it kind of, this little invisible thing comes across our face in our energy, because you're not my friend yet. When we act as if you are already our friend, there's an openness. Frequently, people will say to me, you look familiar. All the time, grocery store, the bank, you look just like my cousin. And that's because the way I look and gaze upon people, as if you are already my friend and part of my family. And so vis-a-vis, we look upon our friends and our family with a familiar way. So I want to invite you to be open to the idea. How would you be gazing upon your buddy if you were already friends? Now, this is the exercise where we're flipping, elevate your pitch and creating an elevator pitch on its head. We're starting from the foundation of practicing. Thank you. So choose amongst you who's going to be A, who's going to be B. Okay, next instruction. There's way too much fun happening in there. Next instruction. You want to listen to understand. And so what you're going to ask your buddy is, what inspired you to start your business? And so A is going to tell B, B is going to ask A, what inspired you? A is going to listen. B is going to ask, A is, no, wait. B is going to ask, A is going to talk. Right. B's job is to just be and listen. Most of us, I do it too, listen because we can't wait to comment. We have a running commentary going on. Right? So I want you to listen just to understand, quietly, without comment. And my invitation to you is practice it without a running commentary. For some of you that will feel really challenging. I understand, it's a skill. So listen to understand. The question is, what inspired you to start your business? The person will answer, and I will whistle when it's time to stop. You're going to have about a minute, 60 seconds to say what inspired you. And how many of you just listened and didn't make comments? Remember, we're supposed to listen and not comment. All right.
Does a question count as a comment?
Yes, questions count as comments. I know. We're going to have an opportunity to ask questions later, but not right now. Yes, Susie, my aunt.
Does a comment to a question mean a comment?
The person who is talking about what inspired them is only supposed to be talking. The other person is only supposed to be listening. And it's okay. Practice makes perfect. Yes.
What if someone's like, oh, is that a comment?
Right, yes.
It's just an expression.
Yeah, my invitation is that you're silent, and you're still, and you're quiet. Here's the thing. Most Americans hate and are uncomfortable with empty space, and they want to fill it with a comment. When we practice this, listening this way, and I had a wonderful experience listening to Pema Chodra. She's a Buddhist monk. And her platform is practicing unconditional friendliness. It's about listening this way to understand, and may I say, without judgment and without commentary. Yes.
Can I just make a comment when I say
Yes.
compliance?
Yes.
There's a reason why listen and silent have the same letters.
Yay, thank you, I'm gonna use that, and what is your name?
Teresa Whiting.
Thank you, Teresa, yes. Yes.
What did she say, Deborah? I didn't hear what she said.
Please repeat it.
Sure, there's a reason why listen and silent have the same letters.
You apparently weren't silent and listening.
Yes?
Well, I have a little different take on it, and I can follow instructions. So if you said, don't ask questions, don't comment, I wouldn't. But if you're talking to someone, and it doesn't matter what's on their face, if you're not getting any verbal feedback, this person isn't even interested in what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's what you're afraid is happening, so what?
Well, no, I wasn't
Yeah.
afraid of that. Again, I know how to follow instructions, so
Yeah.
if you were explicit, I wouldn't have said anything. I was asking questions. But
So it's okay to nod?
No, but I was very interested in what she was telling me, in the story.
That's good. We're going to get to a place where you're going to ask questions, but we're going to learn how to ask questions from a place of genuine curiosity and wonder. Leonardo da Vinci said, curiosity is a form of genius. And when you listen this way, my invitation to you, when you listen this way, and this is just an exercise, eventually, yes, you can chit-chat back and forth, but it's forcing people to listen in a certain way without commentary in their head and being present. And we will get to the place where we can go into dialogue, but we're just, as a matter of an exercise and as a matter of a technique, it's about listening in a way where you're coming from a place of understanding and non-judgment. You'll see the quality of the conversation is going to be a much higher quality conversation because you're going to be able to access higher quality thinking, like Leonardo da Vinci said. So it's just step by step I'm walking you through. So this is not the end result. This is just a stepping stone on the journey. And we're going to actually get to elevator pitch, believe it or not. Yes?
If you were to give us instructions saying that I want the A to speak and you just to be silent, but you didn't do that.
Mhm. I said just listen.
Yeah.
There's, yeah. Silent and listen.
And I did say the person who's listening is not supposed to make commentary. Not
That I didn't hear.
Okay, so you're going to stay with this person, and you're going to switch, and now this time the person who's listening, my invitation is that you can nod, you can be, acknowledged, but see if you can refrain from talking. If you have to go, okay, if you must do that, but let's see, experiment, see what happens when you just listen. We're going to get to elevator pitch, but we're doing it in a different way. In order to get there, we need to start for this foundation from a very unique and very innovative way to get to elevator pitch, where it's not going to feel like a pitch, it's going to feel like a conversation. Isn't that what we really want? Absolutely. Connection and conversation? Okay, so listen without commentary. Listen from a place of stillness. And stillness doesn't mean you're stiff or soldier-like. I think about a placid lake on a summer day. When you look at a lake, when there's no breeze, it's still, but we're riveted to watching it because there's a life force underneath. The quieter your mind, the stiller your body, the more life force and more presence you can offer as a present and a gift to your person you're listening to. Okay, just experiment with this. I'm not asking you to buy me with lock, stock, and barrel. Just experiment, see what happens. All right. Any more questions or comments before we switch? Yes.
Hi, my name is Tony Dixon, and my question is, when you're the speaker and someone is just listening, when you feel that you're naturally done talking, do you just gaze at each other? Because that's
What a wonderful question, thank you. Some people are feeling, so for the sake of this exercise, what I'll do is I'll do it shorter, and then yes, just sit in silence for a second. For some people that will feel awkward, uncomfortable, maybe for torture for some, because they like to fill the space, but just sit quietly, because I promise it won't be more than 15 seconds or 30 seconds. Okay? Not 2 hours. All right? All right, and switch. All right, so practice makes perfect. My question to you is, what was it like to be listened to this way? And I have some people offering some feedback. What was it like to be listened to this way? Yes?
Hi, my name's Tony. It's authentic listening, smiling. That smiling that he was giving me and just looking. So he was conscious about not saying anything like you had said, but just, nodding and looking. So there was feedback going on without anything, just really listening without saying that point where you said, trying to think of what other thing you're going to say for a comment next or anything.
Does everyone know Tony Toledo is a wonderful, famous storyteller here, based here in Beverly, Mass. So welcome, thank you.
Yeah, fame is usually for people 8 and under. So.
Well, I'm childlike, so in my right. Yeah, thank you for coming today. And so yes, and there's unconsciously, it's called non-verbal communication. And when I train for the Wang Center for the Performing Arts, and I did that for 10 years, kids are bonkers. They're like, whoa. So I have them communicate non-verbally. Non-verbal communication immediately encourages and inspires teamwork. So cool. I'm not going to go into it, but please just trust me that I know what I'm talking about. Yes?
There was also, I host Speak Up Spoken Word Open Mic in Lynn every Wednesday. There's a group of regulars that come there. When there's somebody new, most of the regulars don't say hello to the new person, but I go up and introduce myself, introduce the 2 of them, and then go back to setting up the microphone, and they're off and running for 10 minutes talking.
Good.
But I mean, I think it's that thing that you talk about where people, even the regular folks there that know that we're listening to each other, don't go up to the new person and just say, hi,
Yeah,
I'm Tony or I'm Tom
that
or whatever.
unconscious, that unconscious, like shield. The actors talk about the shield, the mask, the walls. It's unconscious. It does show up in your energy, and people respond to it unconsciously. So my invitation to you as the host is creating that environment where people can feel safe enough to drop the walls. That's all. And see what happens. Yes?
When I was talking with Debbie, I realized I'm in sales. Oh, really?
She's Patricia. You work in this Debbie.
You're
in the same alphabet.
No, when I was speaking to Patricia, I'm in sales. And I asked a question, and I needed a response. So I became aware now that in sales, many times I will ask a question just to see where they're at.
Yes.
So it's not always easy to be silent.
I agree. It's practice. And in this culture, I do a lot of humanitarian work in Africa. And I started at 22. And I was in the presence of elders. And when the elders had to solve a problem in the village, everyone came together, and when it was time for the elders or anyone to speak, everyone sat in silence. They did not interrupt, and they waited until they were done. It was a very powerful experience for me, and I carry that forward in my life today. It's a different worldview, it's a different way of listening. A lot of indigenous peoples across the world, not just Africa, have a way of listening this way. They seem to be happier. I don't know. Yes?
Hi, I'm Claire, and I just have a quick question along the lines of a new person entering a familiar. I was in a common interest group last night that I just joined, and I got there early because I want to have a little chit-chat. So it ended up that people just gravitated towards people that they've known, and I just kind of sat there going, okay, I'm a new person. And I almost feel kind of like this, well, they're obligated to come to me rather than me stretching out. So there's that. Now, I'm wondering, do other people have that dynamic in their own worlds, be it work, social? Is it a regional? I've heard it's very a regional situation. When I've been in Florida, you new people just come and go, hey, what's up? And what do you like? And what do you do? You know, they just sort of instantly, my Canadian background, they're all just, hey, how you doing? They're just instantly a family feeling.
So I'll speak to that because we don't have time to open up the whole floor for everybody. As I'm assuming most people have that experience. There's 2 things that you can do when you come into new situations, especially in New England. And the more suits, the more the culture will be a little more closed. That's just reality. Is to take a moment and use your point of power and observe. Who looks most interesting to you? Who do you want to meet? Right? Who do you want to make friends with? Because you do have to push yourself beyond your comfort zone and extend that friendliness. So if I'm friendly and I'm meeting a friend, I'm going to embrace them. That's going to be I'm going to move towards them. I'm not going to wait. Everybody, like this morning, Cheryl came in and I hugged her, and I will move towards a friend. You don't wait for a friend. So if you come in with the mindset that I am meeting friends, that energy will go before you. And you will be attractive. For example, I was at the conference yesterday, and I came in with the mindset, oh, I'm meeting new friends. And there were a swarm of people around me, wanting my business. A woman grabbed my arm. She didn't want me to leave. Right? Because I came in, I'm going to be friendly to everybody. I do take a moment to watch and observe. I don't want to push myself in. And here's also a little secret. If you see a group that's a closed circle, don't try to break into the circle. If it's the letter C or the letter U, you can break in. What? You can go, so here's a little secret. Go into the group, it's like, you guys look so cool. I know you're the cool people. Right? My name's Debra, what's your name? Right? Oh, they already got acknowledged that they're cool or they're wonderful. You look brilliant. You look like the intelligent people here. Whatever you want to use, right? Bam. Boom. They love you. Yes.
Similar question. You talked about talking to people in line in Starbucks
Yes.
or in the supermarket, and that's something I cannot do because probably because of the wall.
Yes.
And they look like they don't want to talk to me. I can do it with a baby. I mean, that's something.
Yes.
How do you break into that?
It's practicing unconditional friendliness. So I have been practicing this for 30 years. So I don't have the corner on the market, and I don't do it perfectly, but I've done it enough times. So there was an example where I had to really push myself way beyond my comfort zone in terms of practicing unconditional friendliness. I had a total knee replacement recently, and I was pulling up in front of Starbucks, and my crutches were over in the passenger seat, and I had my door wide open because, I have a knee, and I have to hike it out. And I'm getting ready to get my crutches, and a white Acura pulls by with the windows down, and this woman drops the F-bomb on me. And she's like, why are you taking so long? And honest to God, in that moment, I was not feeling friendly. I wanted to take my crutch and throw it across through her window. That was my first, I have to be honest. So I'm crutching my way into the Starbucks, and lo and behold, the woman walks into Starbucks. And I'm like, I want to give her a piece of my mind. There's me, there's this woman in front of me, and then there's the woman who had been so friendly with it, sharing the love with F-bomb. And I do operate from a place of faith. I don't need to convert anybody, but I did say, God, help me. Help me be friendly here. And what occurred to me in that moment was to commit an act of kindness. In the face of anger, to commit an act of kindness. So as she started to order, I said to the Starbucks barista, is that how you say it? Yeah. I will pay for whatever she orders. $20 later. She ordered coffee for her whole entire office. And she looks at me, her mouth open, and she said, why are you doing that? She was so angry that she did not have the capacity to understand this was an act of kindness. And so I had to take a breath, I had to use my point of power, and I softly looked in her eyes and I said, it's an act of kindness. I invite you to pay it forward. She couldn't say anything. Right? So she takes her stuff, and then I felt bad. The woman in front of me, she didn't get the act of kindness. The woman in front of me, she calls her mother. She goes, "Oh my God, Mom, I've been witness to an act of kindness. I never had this happen in my whole life." And so then I'm almost no money left. And then the barista said, Debra, because of your acts of kindness, because they were witness to it, whatever you want is on us. Yeah. And it was like a big, massive lesson for me, how powerful acting friendly is. The Dalai Lama, and I do see a lot of spiritual, inspirational speakers, he talks about this concept of friendly fire. That when you are a soldier and the enemy, shoots you and you get shot, you're angry. But if by accident someone on your side accidentally shoots you, it's called friendly fire, and immediately you're given compassion. If you can think about life, that everything is friendly fire. It gives you a buffer zone, it gives you some compassion. I have no idea how I was able to deal with that situation the way I did, because I did not feel friendly. Yes?
I'm just curious how you would handle the situation. You're at Market Basket, and you're online, and there's 12 items, and the person in front of you has 25 items.
Find another line. Yeah, that's how I deal with it. I just, sometimes it's better not to say anything. Bite your tongue. My mother always said, because my mother would always say, bite your tongue, bite your tongue. And thank you, Mom, for telling me to bite my tongue, because sometimes I would give people my peace of mind, and it wasn't always peaceful. I've had to learn.
From Graham.
Grammy, yes.
You can't say anything good, don't
Say it all.
Act like a lady, even if it kills you, because if it don't, I will. All right. So we're gonna find a new buddy, because we're having too many conversations here, and we're having too much fun. Find a new buddy. Oh, before you do, I'm sorry. Exchange business cards, because I'm gonna give you an assignment. So exchange business cards. Okay. I entertain myself sometimes. I have a good time. Is everyone enjoying themselves?
Yes.
Okay, good. At this point, we're not even done. Am I meeting your expectations so far? Oh, good. And we haven't even got to elevator pitch. We're going to get there. We're on a journey. So thank you for trusting me on this journey. So now the seventh key, you're going to do the same thing. And the A, decide who's going to... Oh! One more lesson assignment. So you just exchanged business cards with your previous new friend. The assignment is to have a coffee date, a coffee meeting with that new friend. And this is why you want to either A, you may not be a direct hit for being each other's client, and that's okay. But 6 degrees of separation, they may know someone, you may know someone who connects you with that person. You want to find out more about their business, using these exercises and techniques really from the place of curiosity and wonder, and being brilliant and genius-like, as Leonardo da Vinci said. You're going to really find out more about this person, and as you find out more about their business and what they do, 6 degrees of separation, there may probably somebody you can introduce them to, if they're not direct client for you. Case in point, I run a mastermind meeting, and there's a woman named Liz Sacco. She invented what's called diabetic dabs. She has a son who is, diabetic from youth diabetes, and she needed to be introduced to the president of the American Association of Diabetes so that she could talk about this product. And 6 degrees of separation, in my mastermind meeting, there was someone who was friends with the president. When you have someone introducing you to someone, it's much more likely they're willing to meet with you, much more likely they're at least going to have a conversation with you on the phone, and it just opens up the possibility that there could be a connection there and there could be a client. It just works so much better than you trying to call the president. All right, so we're practicing extending this idea of unconditional friendliness. You're going to help your new friend. And we're going to do this several times today, so when you leave, you'll have several friends to be meeting with. Okay. So now decide who's A. A is asking B, what 3 problems do you, and I have to forgive, I have dyslexia, and I have a typo in this. Do you solve for your clients, or what 3 assets do you bring to your clients? One or the other. You don't have, I don't want you to answer both, one or the other. If it seems like you're going on, and I haven't closed it, you can answer the second one. okay? So A is asking B. A's job is to just listen quietly in stillness. You can nod and acknowledge, but my invitation to you is you're listening quietly without an internal commentary. And my invitation to you is to listen for the feeling underneath what they're saying, or listen to the music underneath what they're saying. It's a different assignment. All right, does everybody understand the assignment? You want to listen to the feeling, not necessarily what they're saying, the content of what they're saying. You want to listen to the feeling underneath what they're saying. So what 3 problems do you solve, or what 3 assets do you bring to your clients? Everybody understand the assignment? I'm just tapping, all right, energy here is like, I'm like, oh, this feels good to be here, right? And the energy is different, it shifted, it went up from where we were. Did everyone notice that? It's gone up. Why? Because there's a camaraderie here and connection here. Wherever there's connection, there's energy. Energy is an attraction factor. It just is attractive. Energy is attractive. You just naturally, by practicing what I've got with our journey we've been on, you've just become more attractive. You've increased your likability factor by listening and sharing this way and communicating this way. All right, you're going to switch. So B is asking A, what 3 problems do you solve for your clients, or what 3 assets do you bring to your clients? And I want you to listen for the feeling and the energy and the music underneath what they're saying. Not necessarily the words, but the feeling underneath what they're saying. I would like a report from people I haven't heard from yet. By listening to the feeling and the music underneath, what insight or aha moment, what do you realize, what do you know about this person that they didn't maybe literally say, but you got it and you understand it? Yes, please introduce yourself.
I'm Amy Rowe.
Hi, Amy.
And Cynthia was telling me about her business, and the feeling that I really got from her business was that she really cares about the people in her community, and that she wants to help them get something accomplished that might be hard for them to do on their own.
So I'm just curious too, she didn't literally say that, but you got that.
Yeah.
Because you listened that way.
Yeah.
So here's the wonderful thing, when you start reporting back to people, not necessarily what they said, but the feeling underneath what they said, they feel understood. When we feel understood, we automatically trust that person who understands us. And just opportunities open from there, from that place of trust. Simple, easy technique. Most of us don't practice it. All kinds of opportunities will come your way when you start trying to practice listening this way and communicating this way. Another observation in terms of an aha moment, an insight, a realization. What do you know about this person that they didn't literally say in their language, but you got something that they didn't say? Yes. Please introduce yourself.
Bill Walker, management consultant, but I'm talking about Tony Toledo, the storyteller, who I didn't know or know of, because I'm not from the North Shore, a little older than 8. But I could feel, and he didn't talk about his passion for what he does, working with children, but I could feel the passion coming through. And when you blew the whistle, it's kind of, I don't know, I'm a little into aircraft. F-18 takes off and hits the afterburners. When you blew the whistle, it's like just hit the afterburners. I was just getting into boom, I could cut it off. But I could really feel the passion, and I could just picture him with a group of kids, and they're clustered around him, and the teacher's saying, "We're out of time, we're out of time." But you could feel a passion, and he didn't mention passion and talk about his interest at all.
Yay! So what? So you now have a new friend, and at the end you'll exchange business cards. And you're going to have a coffee meeting together. And here's the wonderful thing, Bill, is that by listening this way, you activated your imagination, and you could see his life. You got transported by the power of your imagination. You got transported into his reality. You were with him in that. How sweet is that? Right?
Pretty sweet.
Pretty sweet. One more report, yes, please.
My name is Patty Cole-Simonson, and in talking with Paul talking to me, I realized he's trying to bring two cultures together, which I thought was not only amazing, but very exciting in a couple of different ways. Just two things that I don't really know anything about, but he's going to do it. I can tell that he's going to do it.
Oh, so that you know, when you listen this way, you automatically become a champion of someone's cause, right? Because you're listening to their feeling, and they may not literally say everything that you got, but you're getting it. Doesn't it feel great when someone gets us? Isn't that half the battle? Sometimes someone gets us because they're listening. Yay, good job. Yes?
I'm Sue Valley.
My aunt.
I noticed from talking to Stephanie, she wasn't maybe even listening a little. She wasn't trying to advertise her job, her business, what she does, but in listening to her, I realized the inspiration that she had about her, what she does, and how important what she does is to everybody.
Nice. So she got connected to
bring
you.
out their inner feelings.
That's right.
Not advertisement.
And you weren't trying to push, you weren't trying to sell, you weren't trying to advertise. You were coming from that inspiration. And inspiration is very attractive. Inspiration is related to enthusiasm. The word enthusiasm comes from ancient Greek, and it means to infuse with spirit. So there was that infusion of spirit where you're both like, yeah, this is great. Thank you. Thank you very much for sharing that. Okay, so now, I know you were dying to do this, from a place of genuine curiosity and wonder, I know you want to ask some questions, but I don't want you to come from that place where you're already pre-decided what questions you're going to ask. I want you to take a moment and breathe and allow that question to bubble up or surface, and that from that place of genuine and curiosity, one of that childlike wonder, now ask a question. And it might take a second for your mind to drop into curiosity wonder, because most of us go into, our default is, you know, we got a commentary, we got our list. Drop the list. And from curiosity wonder, the quality of the connection, the quality of communication is going to go way up. So, you are now going to ask, help me understand. I want to know more. I'd like to see more. Right? Those are sort of the guide questions, but they need to come from curiosity and wonder. If you've had a nice connection, there should be some genuine questions and sincere, authentic questions. And you want to think about yourself like a detective. You know, you're looking for more clues. You really want to get this person on a little bit of a deeper level. Okay? So A will start, and A will ask B from a place of genuine curiosity and wonder. Wow, I saw some really great conversations going on. Great energy, great connections, and it happened in 2 minutes. You made that. Actors must learn, and I'm giving you some acting technique. Actors, if they've been cast in a Cheerios commercial and they have to be a family, mommy has to feel like she really is that child's mommy. And she has to really feel like that's really her husband. Actors have to do it all the time. They have to drop the walls, they have to drop the masks, they have to drop the defenses, and they have to be open and vulnerable. Yeah. And in that vulnerability, there's moments of, you know, awesomeness. How many had moments of awesomeness? I felt it. All right, so I'm just going to open it up, comments, observations, more from an observation point of view, not just commentary. And I'd like to hear from people I haven't heard from. Observation, yes?
My name is, excuse me, Aaron. It seems to me that as it gets more personal, it gets more interesting. So
yes,
it is less about product, business,
yes,
service, whatever, but more about the person. Then you connect instantly, and then actually the rest is just automatic.
Isn't that neat? Yeah, you're not coming in with an agenda. You're coming from curiosity and wonder, and you cannot solve a problem unless you have enough information. An actor cannot perform a script until they've done their detective work, their homework, their groundwork.
Right, but very often I sit in some networking group and you're like number 6 and you're like, what am I going to say? You end up with like 3 features or whatever, and it's just, and you say it and you see that people are like against the next person.
Yes.
So, how you bring yourself to that table?
Yes, huge.
I don't know, tell something about what you've done the weekend, whatever, I don't care,
Yes.
it's more important.
Yes. Yes,
Kind of
observation.
mirroring what he was saying is, because these are the 2 that I've talked to,
Yes.
is they're in 2 completely different industries than what I'm into.
Yes.
But what they said made me interested in their respective purpose.
Fantastic. And here's an interesting thing, is sometimes when we cross cultures in the business industry, or we cross over to an industry we're not familiar with, is actually the place where we can actually find potential customers. When you come, it's a cultural thing. And so you just practice unconditional friendliness, and you met someone from another world, right? And they're from the same planet. They're a human being. Yeah, awesome. All right, I don't need to say any more. All right, next observation. What was it like? All right, we're going to switch gears now. So please exchange business cards. You have a new friend that you're going to have a coffee date with. For Tracy. Tracy needs a buddy. Can you buddy up with Tracy, please?
You talking to me?
I'm always talking to you. Yes, Mom. I love you. Yes, thank you. I saw you taking copious notes back there. I thought you might be a news reporter. I only wish. Right. All right. Thank you. Welcome. Face each other, knees facing each other. All right, so this is where we're continuing to flip the elevator pitch on its head, and we're using the platform of unconditional friendliness to be able to communicate with confidence, sincerity, authenticity. So it's not something that necessarily has to be memorized. When you're here's 2 rules. When you're presenting to a large group, you do need to figure out what your tags are. Like I said, my name is Debra Crosby. I only present to prosper. I help entrepreneurs master their story, captivate their audience, inspire action, and attract more clients. Right? This is to a big group, but on one-on-one, it changes. As soon as I'm in a one-on-one situation, I do not talk about myself first. I don't. My rule, and whenever I do it, it's happened by accident, inside I go, ugh, why did I do that? But when I practice unconditional friendliness, I get work. It just happens. Work, contracts, clients. It happens more gracefully. It falls into my lap. So, for example, yesterday at the conference, this woman came over to me. She's a coach. And she is a radio announcer, and she's an author. And she wanted to work with me as her coach. So instead of giving her my elevator pitch from a place of genuine curiosity and wonder, I wanted to know about what she did as a coach. She was a branding coach. Now I've heard this word branding, but between me, you, and the lamppost, I don't know what the hell it always means. It gets thrown around, right? All the time. And it means something different for different people. And I don't want to assume I know what the heck it means to her, right? Because I'll get in trouble. So I said, what does that mean? I don't know. And the worry when you ask those kind of questions, worry like you're going to sound stupid. But no, people really like talking about themselves. I discovered this. I didn't know it until, it's true. And then they feel, and from that place of curiosity and wonder, it gave me the ability to ask the next question. Well, who are your ideal clients? And she didn't have that quite spelled out. And where do you see yourself speaking in public? She hadn't had that figured out. And why do you want to speak in public? She hadn't had that figured out. So now I have information from her, and I can genuinely speak to her problems. I can genuinely speak to her needs. I can genuinely speak to her goals, and I can help her articulate where she can go and give her possibilities. And just being in her presence, she had great energy, she was gorgeous, and she was articulate. Even though there were some things she hadn't clearly defined, there were things that she had clearly defined. I said, I totally see you as a TED Talk speaker. And she went,
As a what?
TED Talk, T-E-D. Everyone know what TED is?
No.
Yeah. If you don't, go Google it, TED. Yeah. And she said, really? I said, yes, absolutely. And she was like, so it's, again, from that place of curiosity and wonder, this wonderful ideas come. And I was sincerely seeing her as a TED Talk speaker. I wasn't saying, oh, well, this is what's wrong with you, and that's what's wrong with you, and I'm so great, and I'm so wonderful. Now that we're done talking about me, what do you think about me? Right? So here I am listening to her, and then there was a financial advisor listening in to the conversation, and I'm getting ready to go, and he grabs my arm. He goes, you can't go yet. I want you to work with me. So that people notice that when you take a genuine, sincere, authentic interest in people. People, it's something, it's an energy that people around you will notice. And it's an attractive thing. It immediately increases your likability. It immediately increases your energy. It immediately increases your charisma.
You must be so used to people just saying, don't go yet.
I know. I take a lot of vitamin C. So, now, from the practice and platform of unconditional friendliness, you're going to ask the person, what do you do? From the place of curiosity and wonder, you're going to now ask questions. But you really want to listen? My invitation to you is automatically you might drop into like filling in the gaps, the empty space. No, listen and wait for the curiosity and wonder to bubble up. You know when children look at the sky and they go, wow, how come those clouds are puffy? Right? They're just wondering about it. Where do they come from? Right? They really are curious. So it's coming from a place of curiosity and wonder. You are now asking that person, what do you do? And following the curiosity and wonder, you just want to find out more. And then I'm going to teach you how to give an elevator pitch, which I hate the word pitch. I'm going to teach you how to genuinely communicate what you do to this person who's across from you right now in this moment. So we're going to back up. Start with the point of power. You're going to smile. And then you're going to ask the question. And then you're going to listen. And then you're going to ask questions from a place of curiosity and wonder. And choose A and B. A is asking. Okay, so brief, clear, and concise feedback. What did you discover? What did you learn? What do you understand? You don't have to answer all those questions, but I would like for people to share, what did you learn about your new friend? Yes?
This is your mother speaking.
Hi, Mom.
On an overall scale, being here and going through all these little routines with you, I find that everyone in this room all has the same interest, and that's to be a better person.
Oh.
And number two, I found out that Matt really likes me.
Don't tell her.
I'm experiencing a moment of embarrassment. Present with that. Yeah. Thank you. And Matt is my boyfriend, so I'm when my family's around, anything anything is possible. Okay, get back to being professional.
Are they here because you didn't think enough of us would show up?
It's my birthday and my mom. And so she's here because I made her come. She flew up from Florida just for this event. Thank you. Yes.
I'm aware of something. I mean, it's nice what we're doing, but it's very structured. It's not how the real world works. So hopefully these ideas that you're sharing with us, we can take that with us and try.
It does.
Because you're making it easy for us. I mean, you're almost a captive audience, basically.
All right, here's the thing. You have an assignment to meet with at least 3 people who are your new friends, and you will have 3 opportunities to practice it. It is practice, 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 and practice some more. And the bottom line is, if you have 2 ideas, that you're coming from the intention of being friendly, not selling. Just hold that intention. And 2, to listen from a place of curiosity and wonder. Those 2 things, simple things. When you can breathe, remember to breathe, and when you smile, there's frosting on the cake. Point of power, breathe, smile. Listen to learn, listen to understand, come from a place of curiosity and wonder. Those things will liberate you. But it does take practice, because we weren't trained to do this in school. I don't remember taking a class on listening. And I don't remember taking a class on how to communicate authentically and with connection. But I do remember my dad saying, the late Dave Maynard, and grateful he was always in my life, is I had my first public speaking course in college, and I was nervous, and he said, "Dad, give me a secret." And of course he puts his fork down, and everybody listens because Dave Maynard about to say something, and he said, "Know your subject and know your audience." So if you're a business owner, you know your subject. But most of us don't take the time to know our audience. So for example, if you're going to a networking meeting and you've signed up on, say, meetup.com, because there's plenty of opportunities to meet people through meetup.com, you should have an idea who's attending, and you can kind of get an idea of what they're about. There should be a little bio. Not all opportunities offer that, but if you come from that place of practicing unconditional friendliness and listening and smiling and breathing, amazing things will happen. People start pulling your arm. And you have to start taking vitamin C and it bruises on your arm because people just dying to work with you. Yes?
Just quickly, too, to Bill's point, about 25 years ago, I was a teenager into acting, and I took a course. It was an image and modeling course. And they went through this very similar routine here. Coming across, being ready for the audition as soon as you walk out the door, all that stuff I learned when I was 18, and I still today use it. So it is, I mean, even though it might not feel like a real life situation, you will, if you learn this and really embrace it, it will be with you the rest of your life.
Yeah,
You
thank
can
you.
use it anywhere.
Yes, thank you.
Sales pitch, whatever, it's always with you.
And even if you just remember to smile, things will go better for you. Don't have to remember anything else, just smile. Okay, there's been so many questions. Where am I? Okay, so we had, so from a place of genuine curiosity and wonder, and we asked, what did you learn? You hopefully learned something that you didn't know. And now you can say what you do, right? So now the other person is going to ask the question, what do you do? And that person is listening from a place of curiosity and wonder, and you're finding out more, you want to understand more. And the little last piece we're going to do is the pitch, which I hate that word. I wish I could find another word than pitch. Presentation. Presence. Presence. Conversation. Gift.
The offering.
The offering. I love in Kung Fu Panda where the turtle is talking to the panda, and he has that Does anyone, I always mess up that quote. Maybe Tony Toledo can help me, I don't know. And he says, the past is the past and the future is the future, but the present is called the present. It's presence. Today is a present because it's a gift. Yes. Okay. Somewhat paraphrased that. I remember when I saw that, I said, I have to see this movie again. Because it hit me. All right, so you understand what you're doing. Now, from a place of genuine curious and wonder, ask them back. Come back. Back to left. I just break into spontaneous. So anyone knows me, I break into spontaneous from time to time. Yeah, thank you. And even though I shouldn't quit my day job, too soon saying I do it anyway. Okay, you're going to, I don't have time to ask questions, but I hope that was a nice experience. Exchange business cards. You're going to meet with this person, your new friend, for coffee. French airline pilot.
Because they're a strike? They are too.
They are?
Wow. I'm sorry, I was trained by 3 different improv companies, and this ability to edit myself is just gone. Okay, so, point of power. Use all your senses to get present in the moment. Nice deep inhale. Nice deep exhale. And there's the smile that hurts combined with the warm smile in the heart. And now, A is going to ask B. You already assigned A?
Yes.
Okay. A is asking B, what do you do? And B is going to answer, my name is. What inspired me to do whatever your work is, the problems I solve or the problems I help my clients solve, and I'm most passionate about.
In 15 seconds?
No, you don't have 15 seconds. No. We're getting there. We're getting there. Right? That's all you need to say for now. Okay? And so point of power. Present. Check. Breathing. Check. Smiling. Check. Listening. Check. So I hope you see that I'm practicing the moments where I'll just be quiet and still for a second. Because I'm role modeling and showing and practicing, and that I'm showing you that this can work. Taking those little pauses brings higher quality thinking, higher quality communication. So one last thing we're going to go into, staying with this partner, is that you solve a problem. The problem that I solve is I make people happy. I make people happy through communication. And if it means that I'm helping you communicate better with networking, presenting yourself, communicating on the stage, communicating in front of the video camera, that's what I do. I make people happy. Wow, I should be a happiness coach. All right, I gotta start a new business. So take a moment, I'm going to invite you to sort of gaze down softly, and you know what problem you solved, but what is the result of that? So I just gave an example. I make people happy. I make people money. Yeah, I do that too. I'm good about that. But when you're happy, it's easier to make money. Wouldn't you agree? Yeah, so from that good feeling of friendliness and happiness, they radiate this good energy, you're attractive, it's easier to attract clients and make more money. It just is, it just works. So drop in, and now I want you to think about what problem you solve, what is the result? So I just gave an example, I make people happy. I help people make money. So that's much more interesting than if I go on and on and on and write a novel that's going to get published in 215 about everything I do. I have a lot of training, a lot of credentials, a ton of certifications. It's crazy how much training and experience I have. But if I went on, it's going to sound like, you know, Charlie Brown when the teacher goes, wah, 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 and I'm a coach, wah, wah, wah. You know, no. I make people happy, I help people make money. right? That's it. So take a second, reflect, and from that place of curiosity and wonder, you solve a problem, and the result of solving a problem, you make your clients X. All right? So now A is going to ask B, what do you do? And B is going to answer. My name is, my company is, and I do X. Same person. I make people happy, I make people money, I help them not have stress, I help them not have pain in the body. So if they don't have pain in the body, they have grace and ease in their body if you're a body worker. If you're a financial advisor, I help people invest their money wisely so that they can live more comfortably for a longer period of time. All right? So A is asking B, what do you do? B is answering, and it's that one simple result that you're presenting. There you go. So you're given a variety of tool bags, but listen first. And when you understand who is before you, when you got them, then you can speak to them in that moment. So it's not a pitch, it's a conversation. You can experiment with creative spins. You just an example, I just said, I make people happy because I help people make money. Wow, that's pretty awesome, right? Now I can explain what I do. Who doesn't want to be happy and who doesn't want to make more money? Right? But experiment. If you listen to who's in front of you, you may use a different word. You might find a creative, this is speaking to them. Maybe that's what do they need to hear? What do they need to understand about what you're doing? So you all have a friend that you will be meeting with for coffee. Continue practicing with this person who you have a coffee date with. And at the end of the conversation, if you are not an exact match, which could very likely happen, in terms of possibly being a client-customer relationship, 6 degrees of separation, you want to ask them for help. To help you connect with, in Tony Toledo's case, schools that would be interested in hiring Tony. That's an example. Help me connect with the president of the Diabetic Association of America.
Rich patrons.
Pardon me?
Rich patrons.
No, rich patrons, yes. And then people will, because you have that friendship and connection, they're just genuinely going to want to help you. And what you want them to do is send the email and a phone call with their contact, and you would like to have, hey, I'm so excited, I met Tony Toledo, he's awesome, I think you've really got to meet him. And this is why. Short email, not a novel, right? 2 or 3 sentences. I'm so thankful for you taking time out of your busy day to meet with whoever. Okay? And that follows up with a phone call, and then you want the person to report, both people to report back to you, how did that go? Right? It's keeping it all in the loop, keeping it all in the family, keeping it friendly. And this is how you extend your network, is asking people for help, asking for people to help. So, I have 3 calls of action. Cheryl, where are you? I need you to pass that flyer on a second. Not yet. 3 calls of action. 1, if you are willing to share your business card with me, 1 person will win a one-on-one coaching session with me. And does that mean I'm helping you with networking, communicating with your elevator pitch? Does that mean public speaking? Or does that mean in front of the video camera? Right? Communication skills. Public speaking is one of the most powerful ways for you to connect with your potential customers, bar none. Video is also very much moving in that direction. If you don't have video on your website, you are not competitive today. Decisions are made by video. If you want to come across as authentic and communicate with confidence, I'm definitely your girl. So, if you want to win a one-on-one coaching session with me, give me your business card. On Friday, we will send you an email and we'll let you know who won The PowerPoint presentation will be sent to you, as well as a gift from me, and you will get a free audio recording of a relaxation technique. How sweet is that? Right? I have one more action to ask you for. So you give me your business card, you get all those prezzies. If you want to opt out of being a subscriber to my e-newsletter, no hard feelings. But you want to find out by Friday who won, right? Okay. The next call to action is meet with your new friends and report back to me how it went. Send me an email, call me. I love talking on the phone. I'm a wicked phone conversation person. And lastly, my last call to action is if you had a good time and I met your expectations, and let's go as far as if I exceeded your expectations, help me help more people by, if there's a network, there's a group that you are connected to, help me speak to that group. It's your connection that's going to help me help more people. All right? 3 calls to action. You need your business card. And if you want to opt out of the email, totally fine. One person's going to win. Meet with your friends and help me help more people. The last thing I'm giving out today is because I have a video production company and I coach people in front of the camera. If you need a video for your business,